Wayne's cousin Jake shows up with a plan. A night at the Rippers will make Wayne a new man. Tyson and Joint Boy unite to teach Stewart to fight. But when it comes to Dierks, Wayne's not a fan.
That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one is very cool, very stoic, very tight. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online we have Squirrely Matt and the very vivacious Victor. And joining us this week, we don't know anything about her except she's a patron, so we know she's cool. So let's all get together and let's get to know her tonight, shall we? And make some noise for Elizabeth.
Wondrous. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I regret nothing.
Welcome to the Produce Stand, Elizabeth, Liz, what would you like to be called?
Liz is fine.
Liz is fine. Okay, good. I will not call you Fiona, though.
Thank you.
It's not been a good start, and it's all my fault. Elizabeth, welcome to the Produce Stand. This is your first time here. Where are you speaking to us from?
I'm in Flint, Michigan right now.
Flint, Michigan.
Like Flint.
Yes, in like Flint.
Yep.
So, and what do you do in Flint, Michigan?
I am a librarian.
What is it with this show and librarians?
Because we like smart humor. Like, we're all intelligent people. You gotta do a lot to stump a librarian. So we need somebody to keep up with us. Letterkenny does that.
Nice.
Do you watch your Letterkenny content from DVDs at the library?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. I do
Sorry,
stream it
Miriam.
through Hulu.
Do libraries in Flint, Michigan even carry Letterkenny DVDs?
I don't know for sure, but they probably do. They've got a really good selection. So probably.
So, I mean, forgive my ignorance of Flint, Michigan. The only thing I know about Flint is what I've learned from what's that guy who does the documentaries?
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
He's not actually even from Flint. He lives in the suburbs of Flint, and yeah, we don't claim him.
No, you don't. Okay, all right. So, when did you discover Letterkenny?
So, funny story, about a few years ago when it first came out on Hulu, one of my friends, he's an expat from Nova Scotia. She's out kind of in Halifax area originally. She was talking about it all the time, and I watched a couple episodes. I'm like, I don't know. I was in not a mood for comedy at the time. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like, I'm in a mood for comedy. And so I binged it so fast and so hard, and I was running out of Letterkenny content because you're running up against, I guess, was it season 8 or season 9 that came out during the pandemic? Was it 9?
9, yeah, 9. It was 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were running up against that, so I was looking for extra content, which is how I found you all, because I love a good podcast recap show. So we're good.
Well, thank you for finding us, and so are you caught up with our episodes as well?
Yes. I have done all the homeworks.
Wow, excellent. So you know all about us then, so that's good. And now we know a little bit about you. Thank you so much for joining us today. The let's see here.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup is going to be Al, Victor, Matt, Tanya, and Elizabeth. So I guess I'll start with my week. And I mean, it's been crazy, and this is why I'm all over the place today, because I just got back from Saskatoon yesterday. I was there for 3 days. For my new job. I'm producing podcasts. So I flew out to Saskatoon and spent 3 days there interviewing people. And I can't wait until I can publish some of these podcasts that I've been working on and share with everybody, because I'm really excited. It's a lot of fun. It's my new role. I get to travel. Well, this is my first piece of traveling, but hopefully if things go well, I'll get to travel a little bit more often and go across Canada and do more of these. But 3 days in Saskatchewan, and it is as flat as people say it is. The sky is huge because it is so flat. Like, all you see is sky. And the people there are lovely. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. Victor, how's your week?
Yeah, it's been a busy week as well. I haven't been doing any traveling, but we did have one of our, how you do those semi-annual get-together where you bring the whole team together and whatnot. So we did that virtually, and what goes into that, there's a lot of planning and activity, and especially with virtually, you're trying to make it engaging and whatnot. So, I had a big part in that, and kind of being one of the leaders. So got through that. Happy, can't wait for the weekend to come, because I've been planning a trip to Montreal, just myself, over the next couple of days.
To the Rippers?
What's that?
To the Rippers?
To the ballet.
Yeah, ballet? Exactly. And I don't even have to take a train. There's a special portal.
Behind the produce stand. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it, because Montreal, they've got one of the best
strip joints.
Museums.
Oh, train museums, right?
Yes, train museums. So I'm gonna check that out, and visit some local pastry shops and whatnot. So so I've been planning to do that, and aside from that, just a regular week. Linda and I watched the first episode of this show that seems to have really high ratings on IMDb, called Voltaire High. It's a French show out of France, and it's the ratings. It's like, I think, over 9. So we said, we have to give it a chance. So it's like set in the 1960s, where they first started to combine, make co-ed schools, girls and boys schools, which seemed to be like the crazy, just absolutely nuts at the time. So the show seems to be kind of about that, and like there's these 11 girls that came to the school, and and all the craziness that unfolds out of that. So anyway, first episode was definitely high tasted. So I would we'll keep watching it. We'll see how it goes.
But it's in French.
It's in French, and you have the choice of using subs or dubs, and we chose to do English dubs.
Oh, really? Yeah, I usually do
I don't
subs.
I don't like watching and reading. I know people are purists around that, but I want to be able to relax, and if I have to read, then I'm not relaxing.
This is why you don't like Letterkenny, because you can't understand it without subs.
Absolutely.
Matt, how was your week?
It was a fairly uneventful week, I'll say. We went up to Collingwood on the weekend, but it was pretty chill. I did have, I guess, a bit of a DGen moment up there as well. I clearly have not gotten out much in the last little bit. And just to set the stage in this, I think I've napped. I don't sleep well to begin with, but I don't nap at all. And I think I've probably napped 3 to 5 times in my lifetime. Childhood excluded, because you
Matt,
get forced.
You are missing out, sir.
It's not that I don't want to. I just can't. My body will not shut down. But it happened, and it's because I overate. We went out for there's this wicked Mexican food truck set up at a brewery in Collingwood. So you got beer, you got a food truck, and you Mexican. And I'm telling you, this stuff, it's called Mamacita's. In Collingwood, just a food truck. It's on par with any of the best Mexican restaurants I've ever been to. And we just went all out. We got this massive nacho platter that they served, which was delightful. And then I ordered like one of each of their tacos. And wifey, as soon as I ordered all, she's like, I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to do it. And I did it. And then I got home and couldn't lift my arms and fell asleep on the couch. And
I believe that's a stroke. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
It was, so that was fun. Oh, and then, so you asked me to talk about, so last week, it's not really even a story, but I discovered an interesting slight fact after the show last week. So we were talking about, and I forget the other, there's Tessa Bonham and the other.
Kate Burness.
Yeah. And somewhere in the talk, there's like, follow their Instagram. So I went down that rabbit hole trying to follow them on Instagram, because it sounded like there was some interesting stuff, only to find out that apparently I bought my 12-string guitar that's sitting behind me from Tessa Bonham's husband. So
Mr. Bonham.
Yeah, Mr. Bonham.
Mr. Snowman.
Yeah. So as I'm going in, I'm pulling up her Instagram, and there's all these photos of him and obviously her husband. And I'm like, I fucking know this guy. And I've sat down, I've had conversations with him, talked music, whatever. And ultimately I bought my guitar from him, and I realized he owns a music store here in Ontario.
Which
where
one?
He also teach. It's called House of Chords. It's in Milton.
Oh, right.
But it's also a music academy for kids. Great guy. But as soon as I saw him, like, I know exactly who that is. And it was kind of
You think we can get Tessa on the podcast?
I don't know. I just broke a string, so I need a reason to go in.
There
so
you go.
he's there.
Make sure you ask. Yeah.
Hey, you're Tessa Bonham's husband. Hey, I don't know why I know that, but hey.
I know
saw
that
her on
because
Letterkenny. I saw her on Letterkenny.
Yes, I creeped your wife on Instagram. That's how I know that you're married.
Put yourself out there in public. It's gonna happen.
You can tell him that you broke your G-string while
Oh boy.
Dear.
surfing the Instagram.
Oh, you were waiting for that one, Victor. Waiting for that one.
Just milking it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Tanya, how was your week?
My week was the opposite of yours. So you went to Saskatchewan.
I left her with the kids.
And I had children all week.
She hates me. I'm sleeping downstairs right now.
Oh my God, so tired. So our son chose the school with the earliest start time. So where we had the latest start time in elementary school, now high school, he has to be out and grab a bus by like 7:15, which I know to a lot of people, they're like, oh, 7:15, that's nothing. Well, to us, like when it was 9:00 start time, that was like lovely. So yeah, this is a rude awakening to the morning life and routine. Funny enough, there are a lot of people that are out and about at that time. Like
who knew?
Who knew life happened at that time? Eh?
Who knew there was another world that happened? A lot of dog walkers, must say. Yeah. But here I think I can sneak outside with my pajamas on and take the garbage out. And there are a lot of people out that time. So anyways, interesting new world. Just trying to get used to the morning routine, and a full week of school is now under our belt. Tomorrow's Friday. Thank God for that. Looking forward to sleep again. Mm-hmm. I do have to say though, I love Matt's recaps and especially the food portions of it, because I love food. I love experiencing new foods, and I love everything about it. So this is my fun story. So when Al was going to Saskatchewan, I asked our Google Home if what are fun facts about the province, and it happened to report on a pierogi place,
a drive-through
pierogi place rated 5 stars in Saskatoon, and I'm like,
that's just how exciting Saskatoon is.
I know, right? Well, you know what? Saskatoon's a lovely town. It's actually a really nice town. But I got to say, the first couple of days there, I wasn't too impressed with the cuisine. But then I went to the drive-through pierogi place, and they were amazing. And then the next day, I tried a donair for the first time. Now, Matt, you're from Halifax or
they found that? No, that's where my family is.
Or your family
found donairs in Saskatoon.
Well, I was driving around Saskatoon, and everywhere I looked, there was a donair place everywhere, and I've never ever had a donair.
So for the non-Canadians,
I know, no,
donair?
you know what? It's not a non-Canadian thing, because I was like, what are you talking about, dude? I didn't.
Wait, are you talking like a beignet?
So Matt, what's a donair?
No, it's not that.
It's similar to a gyro. Like it's like a pita wrap with like shaved meat inside. Sometimes you put onions, tomatoes. Mm-hmm. But the kicker of it all is, they have their processed meat, but it's the sauce. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like just liquid sugar that they put on top of it, but it's heaven. And
I wasn't a fan of the sweet sauce. They gave me They gave me 3 options. There's a sweet sauce, a garlic sauce, and a dill or whatever. So I said, okay, a little bit of the sweet, because if I'm going to have it for the first time, I need to. And it was lamb, by the way. Like he had beef, lamb, and chicken. And I said, which one should I have? He's like, you have to go for the lamb. So I went for the lamb. Delicious. It was really, really good. But I'm not a huge fan of sweet and savory mixed together. But anyway, yeah.
So you really didn't have a donair?
No, but I did. No, because I asked him to put the sweet stuff, just a little bit of it, but I also asked him to add a little bit of garlic.
Oh, you got his back. Yeah, disappointing, right? Right?
So yeah, and every time I had like something, a meal,
I'm like, tease me, take a photo of it. I want to see. I want to. I'm like, I want to see it. I want to experience it. I'm like, was it taste like? I'm like, every single, like, take it all in. Like, tell me everything about it. And I was
This
like,
is following last week's episode.
Yep.
I was like so super excited about like, especially the pierogi place. I'm like, where's because he took a picture of the building and I'm like, where's the drive-through? I don't understand. Like from the photo of the front of the place, I'm like, there's no drive-through in this thing. And Google tells us there's a drive-through. And then he takes a picture of the drive-through. I'm like, got it.
It was delicious.
Like I was so like it just traveling via his phone and photos was so much fun for me. So that was my excitement this week. Such a sad life, right?
How was your week, Elizabeth?
Personally, I can't believe it's Thursday. It's just been so busy at work. We've got multiple projects going on, and there's just lots of stuff going on because it's the beginning of the semester.
Is this a school library that you're in?
I am at a university. Yes.
University?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. So we're about 3 weeks into the semester. And so people have kind of figured out what's going on, but we still get a lot of questions. And I just finally finished hiring my 2 temp workers, student temp workers. And it took so long for them to get hired because they can't follow directions in an email, but that's okay. They're new. It'll be fine. It's their first real job. They don't know what's going on. So getting them used to email culture is always fun.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, they're there for the written word, not for the digital word.
Yeah. What's with the email? Don't you still use the Dewey Decimal System and stuff?
Is that still a thing?
No,
that cannot be.
Well, it is in America in public libraries, but academics usually use Library of Congress. So
there you go. Awesome. Well, I mean, I know it's late and I'm tired and Tanya's tired. So I think, Tanya, you need a coffee, don't you?
Yes.
And Victor, do you need a coffee?
I have a coffee.
And Matt, would you like a coffee?
I'm so surprised we're not having coffee right now.
Great, because as you know, Diabolical coffee is being served at the produce stand. It's devilishly good coffee and diabolically awesome swag. There's a roast for all tastes and even some you didn't know you wanted. Don't tread on the sponsors mentioned. You can order whole bean, coarse, and standard grind and espresso. If you're like Tanya and me, there's a K-Cup option for single cup brewers. I don't know what you're doing behind my back there, but stop it, please.
Oh, I was doing the you got in trouble to Matt.
I crushed Diabolical coffee this morning.
Yes,
so
good. I was wearing the Diabolical coffee t-shirt today too, representing. And for the duration of season 8, of our podcast, you can use the promo code ProduceStand for 10% off anything in the store. That's 10% off all coffee and merch. Thank you, Diabolical Coffee, for your support this season. Thank you, Eric. And speaking of support, we have 10 new Twitter followers. So welcome to Bailey Ann Broughton, D. Wormer Dealer from Kensington, Philadelphia, Amanda from Illinois, Captain Unfortunate, Mike Slavin, Lauren Massey from Taylor's, South Carolina, YYZ Gord from Toronto. He's a fellow friend of Toronto Mike. Matt Trethui, Brenya Sorab from Pueblo, Colorado, and Jessica Panto from Pennsylvania. Thank you all for listening, for following, and hopefully for listening.
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 2 of season 8, National Senior Hockey Championship. That episode got a fresh rating from our guest Eliza and a clearance from the rest of us. According to our scientific Twitter poll, 55.6% of you agreed with Eliza and 44.4% gave it a clearance. So it was almost half and half. There were no composts given. Tonight, we recap and review the 3rd episode of season 8, The Rippers. I've done my homework. Victor, have you done your homework?
I have.
Matt, have you done your homework?
I most certainly have.
Tanya, have you done your homework?
Yes.
And Elizabeth, have you done your homework?
Of course.
All right.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
We open with the Hicks sitting on the back porch of the farmhouse. This should make Victor very happy. Derry brings up Sober October. Squirrely Dan has never heard of it, and it's unlikely enough to cleanse your liver. Derry counters by saying, but it might likely help you a wee bit on the scale. Then Derry brings up the No Nut November, which, as Wayne explains, likely has something to do with not nutting in November. Squirrely Dan says that regular ejaculations decreases your risks of prostate cancer. Derry adds that it's good cardio as well. Squirrely Dan wonders out loud if Derry's trying to tell him something. Undeterred, Derry continues to talk about something he called Beat Your Dick December.
Look at the calendar, and if it's like the 1st, 2nd, or the 3rd, that's how many times per day you need to mix a batch.
So on the 20th of December, you got to mix 20 separate batches?
You got it, Pontiac.
There's 30 days, has September, June, and November. All the rest 31. So on the 31st, you'd have to batch 31 times.
You heard it here first.
How's he going to fuck that pigs?
Derry posits that from the 1st to the 5th, you're likely having a good time, even up until the 10th. But by the 12th, you're starting to fade. And by the 15th, you're definitely not full bars. Scradan doesn't think he could continue past the 15th. Derry neither. They both look at Wayne, who's sitting there quietly. Finally, he responds, yep. Scradan and Derry are skeptical. And then Derry timidly asks Wayne if he could do 20. Once again, after a long pause and a long pull from his cigarette, Wayne responds, yep. Derry responds by saying, stay hydrated. Wayne suggests they pick up the conversation on the 25th. Scradan talks about how that would present some obstacles. What with family obligations, you'd need to plan. Wayne lays out his strangely thought out plan.
All this, like everything, starts with diet.
What's on the menu?
Well, you'd want foods that boost your testosterone, likely.
Judging by biceps over there, I think that's already on the menus, likely.
Oatmeal, tuna, red meat, and poultry.
Remember when I said stay hydrated?
Well, a person should always stay hydrated, Derry.
How'd you maneuvers around your families?
Yeah, nieces and nephews.
You wouldn't.
Derry is alarmed at the idea that Wayne might just jerk off around his nieces and nephews. Wayne clarifies that you would have to go away for Christmas. Scradan and Derry don't like the idea of a destination Christmas, but Wayne says there's no alternative because real men finish what they've started. And Scradan agrees.
So now the critical component in all this, I think, is sleep.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Well, you've hammered on it 25 times in 24 calendar hours.
And the day before, you've hammered on it 24 times, 24 calendar hours.
And so's on and so forth, back to ones.
Yeah, you need a good night's sleep.
Also napping in there, for sure.
Yeah, you'd be pretty worn out from all the Christmas Eve hustle and bustle. So I would suggest getting a solid 12 hours of sleep to rest and replenish, then wake up, hammer on it twice an hour for the next 12 hours to meet your quota.
24 times in 12 hours, still one shy of your Christmas Day's quotas.
I know.
So when are you going to squeeze out your 25th squeezers?
Dealer's choice, really.
No. Oh, this ain't no 12-hour effort. There's too many variables in a window that small. Too much uncertainty.
You're saying you'd use the full 24 hours?
Yeah, we're on military time now.
When do you start?
Zero dark. When Santa comes.
And then?
Zero dark 30.
So you'd hammer out the first two in the first hour of your legs?
Can confirm?
And then what? Once an hour for the remaining 23 hours?
You bet.
Cold water?
Let's stay hydrated.
The conversation continues in great detail about how the day would go, including setting an alarm for every hour, hammering on it, and then sleep, when to have snacks, when to stay hydrated, of course, doing it standing up so your muscles don't atrophy, alternating hands, and so on and so forth. Derry makes a suggestion.
Have you considered performance enhancers?
See, the fact you'd even present that says a lot about you, good buddy.
You could just as easily call this an anti-socials Decembers.
The hicks go on for quite a while, but then Derry can't help himself. He asks Wayne if he thinks he can make it to 31.
Well, if I've executed Christmas for a total of, ballpark 325 squeezers in one fiscal month.
You're a man on fire.
It's like I'm indestructible by both scientific and pop culture standards.
Tank like momentums.
So?
After a very, very, very long pause, Wayne finally says, yep, and cue the theme. All right. This, by Victor's standards, would be your traditional Letterkenny cold open. So, and it's getting a thumbs up from Victor. So I guess it's up to me first. This was fun, a lot of fun. This takes me back to Anton Sea-Doos and Wayne's uncles, the shenanigans at the sock hop and stuff, these tall tales that they tell and these conversations they have that make no sense, but they go on and on and on. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff there. A long cold open. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a throwback cold open and back to the back of the porch. Wayne's back in top form, and it was very enjoyable. Victor, what did you think?
I'm conflicted with it. So what I liked is, yeah, it's definitely the OG cold open. That felt right. It felt good. But it suffered from what it was trying to be, and that is completely ridiculous.
You don't think that was completely ridiculous?
Dude, we need to talk.
You'd have to hook me up to an IV.
Yeah.
God damn.
So it was so long, right? It was so long that about halfway through, I was thinking, why are we trying to do this? Right? It's not whether can we, because for them it was how do you do it, and can you make it over another day? And I'm thinking, so wait, why are we trying to do this? what are we trying to accomplish here?
It's beat your dick December.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Real men accomplish what they start out, whatever
Thank
that
you.
line is.
Yeah. Anyway, so because it lost all of its senses about 3/4 in, I was thinking, okay, guys, all right, let's move on. It felt a little bit longer than it needed to be, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So that's not my fault with it. Isn't the fact that it was ridiculous, but the fact that it was so long that the ridiculousness started to kind of surface for me.
When Wayne goes to no, we're on military time here. We got to start at that was funny. That was
absolutely my favorite part.
Matt, what'd you think?
Welcome back, Letterkenny. Like straight up, this was so good. Like Wayne was a star in this one with his subtle responses and tone. I also went through a bit of an emotional roller coaster through this whole thing. Like at the beginning, I was like crying, laughing. And then it's one of those ones like I've talked where I hit a point where I kind of stopped laughing. And now I'm like, I'm invested in the story. I'm like, yeah, I'm really thinking this shit through. And then I start getting tired thinking about it and emotional about what you'd have to go through to like, this is beyond science right now. And it completely irrational and over the top, but their questions were valid. So it's very logical thinking as well. So I was really going through all of the different emotions, trying to understand. And at one point I'd say, why would you do this? But I'm like, guys are stupid. We know this.
Oh,
no, it's Matt's frozen.
Oh, you froze for a second.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Okay, you're back.
Hey, that scared me. That scared us. Anyways. It was all and it was good. It was like I said, it was a roller coaster, but I loved everything about it. The banter was great. The storytelling was what we loved. You called it an Ants and Sea-Doos kind of moment, and this is the kind of shit I love about Letterkenny. I could just listen to that ramble all day long.
10.
It was better than Ants and Sea-Doos. Like,
agreed.
Ants and Sea-Doos made very little sense. Like, come on,
Roberta Bondar on
a motorized vehicle. Like, no. At least this is not. It's not probable, but it's not probable. Like, I'm sure if somebody invested time and energy
No. Ants and Ski-Doos is more practical.
Oh, for goodness sakes, that is not even.
I don't know. I think a teenage boy could probably do it.
Nope.
You're wrong.
Matt tried.
I'm sure in the history of people, there have been a group of guys that have been like, okay, let's competition this and see how many times and see. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
No, hold on. No,
there's some stupid people.
The question is whether or not they've succeeded. They may have tried. Did they succeed?
Yeah, no, they didn't succeed, of course. But I'm sure that there was a competition at some point, and how many. Whatever, what do they call it? Nutting?
Batching.
Listen, the age-old question of how many batches in a day, that gets covered in your youth at one point or another. To do it consistently
in your
with
youth,
progression,
you have nothing but time, and
Listen, Basketball Diaries covered this, all right?
Anyways, I'm very, very excited. Wayne is out of the hut. We're back to a traditional kind of opening. And I'm so glad that I understand and know now what the reference nutting is, because I wouldn't have got any of what happened on this one. And everyone knows that it's not like the no drinking in October. That's 31 days. That shit's you can't do that. It's
that's the impossible, and
that is the possible. It's February. It's the shortest month, or it's got the shortest amount of days in the month.
I thought it was dry January. Anyway,
February, dudes, like February. It's 31 days in October. Anyways, I love, and just reiterating what Al said, the military time, when Wayne said that, it was brilliant how he paused and
she
he's
audibly giggled. She did.
Oh, I did. This one got me for sure. Really, really good.
Elizabeth?
Yeah. So again, this is classic Letterkenny, the weird hypothetical, the one-liners of wisdom, those weird, like kind of innocent, like Wayne doing the month rhyme and Derry, that's when Santa comes. Like those just moments just made it for me so hard. Though I will say, so they mentioned No Nut November, but they don't ever bring in like, would doing No Nut November help your Dick December? They never cover that. I'm like,
that's a good thought,
right? Like, would it help? I don't know.
They never broached the subject of what kind of porn you would need too, like magazine or internet or like and
like there's. I mean, I agree somewhat with Victor that it went on for a long time, but they've done this before. Like the whole at the beginning of season 7, I think, when they just did the farts for like 3, I don't even know how long we did. It's so long. There was moments of that, but I was so happy to get back to this classic opener from Letterkenny. It was so nice and refreshing. I loved it.
Awesome. All right. We come out of the credits into scene 1. The produce stand is closed, and we have a musical montage of the Hicks chorin, along with the help from some help from the McMurrays and Bonnie, followed by a game of catch, back to choring, and then puppers are brought out, and they all have a drink after a hard day's work. Cut to Modine's 3, where the Hicks are having drinks, and the Eagles are still there celebrating their championship win. Wayne seems content. He even manages to crack a smile. Next scene, next day, the Hicks are at the produce stand when up drives a loud blue Chevy pickup with a large American Eagle decal on the hood. Wayne seems to know who it is. Out of the truck steps Wayne and Katie's American cousin, Jake, played by Jared Abrahamson, wearing an American flag shirt. Jake is greeted warmly by all the Hicks. He even tells Katie to put some fucking clothes on, which gets her patented "not my forte" response. And there's some good-natured ribbing going around.
How'd you find your ways up here when you can't even point out the countries on the maps there, big fellas?
Big fella? I guess that's fair. We still got trans fat stateside, but they banned them up here, so what's your excuse?
Maple syrups.
Huh. Hook it up, Derry.
Wasn't gonna.
Well, you scared I'll put you in the sharpshooter again?
That was the Boston Crabs last time.
A Canadian correcting an American on wrestling moves. What a time to be alive.
Sharpshooter is a Canadian move, which I have since learned how to reverse.
Hey, you may farm cattle, Derry, but you're all chicken shit.
Derry gets up to offer Jake a beer, but Jake takes the opportunity for another jab at showing off all the cheap American beer he brought and then making fun of how much we pay for our cell phone service as well. Jake has been back from his first tour and is planning on returning for his second. Screwy Dan asks Jake what brings him to Canada. Jake asks, what do you do when your cousin is in a hole? Referring to Wayne's recent breakup. And they all respond, you get right down there with him. Jake gives Wayne his condolences and Wayne responds, well, you can't win them all, Chief. Jake had Wayne's bachelor party all planned out, but Wayne says he's not usually one for that sort of pageantry. So Jake interrupts Wayne to inform him that the plan for the bachelor party is the same plan that's going to get Wayne over his hump. So upon hearing these words, Derry gets very excited.
Really?
Why are you so squirrely?
Nope.
They ought to stop calling you squirrely.
Think I know what's on deck here.
$5 says you do, Shady Katie.
Yous are going off Broadway.
Ballet, the cabaret,
The showroom, the S Club,
the juice bar,
The observatory.
the night shift.
take a little trip to you, Hornia.
Investigate Area 69.
The dollar hauler.
Snail tracker.
What the fuck is talking about?
Merry Titsmas, cousin. We're going to the Rippers.
The ledge?
The Peelers.
Huh?
We're going to the strip club.
Hooray!
Now I see why you were so fucking squirrely.
We're going to punk you right up front in the meat seats, right at Gano Road. We'll be so close you'll be able to hear the ocean.
Oh, man. Squirrely Dan declines. He says he can't go to the Rippers and look Professor Trisha in the eye. He says we've come too far as a species to take part in such primitive behaviors. Katie dismisses Squirrely Dan from the conversation.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
What's better than a lecture?
What?
A leave.
Okay. I'm going to go eat your foods.
Squirrely Dan walks off, but Wayne doesn't seem too keen with the plan either. He tries politely to turn his cousin's offer down, but Jake won't take no for an answer. Tells Wayne that his best buddy had him sort out the details weeks ago. Derry's confused. He didn't do it. So who's claiming to be Wayne's best buddy? Just then, McMurray walks out from behind the produce stand.
Wayne, how are you now?
McMurray,
Not
where?
bad. How now? How are you now? Wayne, I said, how are you now?
Count to 3,
How are
and
you
you stop
now?
talking.
Why
1,
don't
2, 3,
and then I
so
stop
that's
talking?
when you fucking stop talking. Don't you start talking now. You're only making it worse. It's not going to get you better unless you stop talking. You gotta listen.
I love how Katie and Derry join in on the confusion. Next scene, at Modine's 3, the Eagles are still celebrating their championship. They've been drinking and partying all night. Next scene, at the gym, Rold is helping Stewart with his workout, but they're interrupted by Joint Boy and Tyson. It's time to stop working out and time to start learning how to fight. Stewart doesn't know why he needs to learn. He's already jacked. But Joint Boy and Tyson says Stewart can't take a punch. And to illustrate, they ask Roll to hit Stewart, which he does, and the point is made. Next scene, the Hicks are south of the border, standing outside the strip club. Katie just dropped them off and is headed to the outlet malls. Wayne questions why they had to go stateside for the strippers. Jack says it's because everyone knows the best strip clubs are in the U.S., plus their good buddy Dierks is there. Apparently Dierks is a legend, and McMurray says Dierks is helped him plan the whole thing for his best friend Wayne.
He's a legend?
Of course he is. Why do you think they call him Old Long Dick Dierks?
Dierks loves the peelers and the peelers love Dierks.
Oh, is that what they do?
Of course they do. Why do you think they call him Old Long Dong Dierks?
How many guesses do I get?
The Hicks enter the strip club. Wayne immediately looks uncomfortable. They meet Dierks, who's sitting at a table with a dancer on either side of him. They introduce Wayne to Dierks, who immediately sizes him up as being very stiff and phallic. Dierks offers Wayne the company of his two dancer friends. Wayne politely and respectively declines Dierks' offer. Dierks is quite the smooth talker. He compliments Wayne on how respectful he's being. Very cool, very respectful, very certain, very stoic. Wayne doesn't seem as impressed with Dierks as the others. Jake changes the subject, calls for drinks. This is something Wayne can get behind. Dierks keeps talking, asking Wayne if the girls weren't his type. What is Wayne's type? Dierks admits that his type is a tomboy because tomboys are decisive, very deserving, very disciplined. Dierks asks Wayne if he likes tomboys, but before Wayne can answer, McMurray admits to being hammered and makes a very crude remark about one of the strippers. Derry is in the back. He hasn't moved or spoken since they entered the club. He's staring intently at the stage. Next scene, back at Modine's 3, the Eagles players are still partying hard. Bonnie points this out to Riley and Jonesy, but they give credit to Ovi for raising the bar for cup celebrations. And so, the production note here. Ovi is the nickname of Washington Capitals great Alexander Ovechkin. Riley and Jonesy are referring to when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup in 2018. Ovechkin partied hard for several days, and a big deal was made of how hard Ovi partied when he won his first cup. And so they're paying tribute to that. Bonnie complains that they've been listening to the same song over and over and asks if they can switch it up a bit. But the hockey players were there first and they get to pick the music and they want jock jams. Specifically, they want Twilight Zone by Two Unlimited. So the song continues on repeat, much to the dismay of the other patrons. Next scene, Wayne is in the strip club bathroom and he gets a call from Rosie.
How are you now?
Good, and you?
Not so bad.
What are you doing?
Well, I'd rather not say, but I'm doing it haphazardly.
Haphazardly is a funny word.
Do I know what else is a funny word?
What?
Tiramisu.
You in a mood to run the dogs?
Well, I'm always in the mood to run the dog.
Pitter patter.
I can't, though, currently.
Rain check?
I should say.
I got a Monopoly board and all the properties are places from Letterkenny.
Oh, yeah? Which one's Boardwalk?
Modine's.
Modine's 1, 2, or thrice.
You'll have to come by to find out. Soon?
All sooner than later.
Bring Stormy. If you don't, I'll point you back where you came from.
Good enough.
Talk to you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you.
Wayne hangs up and notices all 3 urinals are ocupado by 3 chaps from Venezuela. Wayne turns to leave when he notices a dancer in the men's room, making him immediately uncomfortable. She tells him the line to the ladies' room was too long, and then the dancer starts to chat up Wayne.
You're Old Long Dick's buddy.
I'm his acquaintance.
We had your bachelor party all lined up a couple months back. Dierks canceled last minute.
Yeah, well, away she goes.
Yeah, well, no ring, I see.
Can't remember them all.
I'll do the math. Everyone's always fucking someone else.
Well, not everyone.
Got any reason to believe otherwise? Are you a good old boy then? Dying breed? Get real. Everyone's always fucking someone else.
The dancer asks if Wayne's going back out there. Wayne's about to say no when his phone rings, and it's Marie Fred. He ignores the call and leaves the bathroom. Next scene, back at the gym, Stewart asks Joint Boy and Tyson why Rold isn't on their team. Joint Boy and Tyson says because he can't be on the same team if they're going to fight. Stewart doesn't like the sound of this.
I refuse.
Can you fight me?
You?
Or me?
No.
Good. Rold then.
Rold is my best friend.
Stewart. Oh, whatever happened to personal besties?
Put it on a t-shirt. I will not strike you.
Don't have to.
Just... What in the fuck is transpiring here?
You can't get hit, so you're gonna dodge. Let your opponent tire himself out. When he opens up, bang! Finish it. Got it?
Got it.
Good.
Go.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
You want to see him get knocked the fuck out in the city?
No.
You want to see him laying stiff as a board on the dance floor, snoring?
No!
Then help your friend!
Rolled. Help me.
Joint Boy and Tyson shove Rolled at Stewart and Rolled starts throwing punches. Stewart avoids all of them. They carry on for a while in an impressive display, and Stewart finally pulls his forced choke on Rolled, who plays along. Tyson asks Stewart how he did that. Stewart admits the choreography is from Dance Dance Revolution. Joint Boy instructs Stewart to finish Rolled. Stewart refuses to strike Rolled, but instead chokeslams him, then jumps on him and straddles Rolled to pin him and waits for the count. The Big City Slams ask Joint Boy and Tyson if he's ready to fight. They both say no. The girls ask Joint Boy and Tyson if they can be there to back him up, and after negotiating another $100 fee and as many rips as they can hoover, they agree. During all of this, Stewart is still pinning Rolled.
Can someone count it out?
Since I first pinned him, Rolled has enhanced.
Back at the Rippers.
That facial expression, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's priceless. Back at the Rippers, the Hicks are sitting in Pervert's Row, except for Derry, who's nowhere to be seen. McMurray is offered a lap dance, so he leaves. Wayne and Jake and Dierks, he leaves Wayne, Jake, and Dierks. Jake leaves to get some more shots, leaving Wayne alone with Dierks. Dierks wishes Wayne would lighten up and enjoy the entertainment. Wayne wishes Dierks weren't so fucking awkward. Dierks tries to break the ice with some small talk.
So, what was her steez?
Who?
The runaway bride, tits. Oh, I know a tit man when I see one. I like the tits. I like the ass too. I like what's up top most, so you know what I mean?
The eyes.
Gray matter, baby, bro. I tell you like a tomboy?
You did.
Tomboy knows what she wants. No one knows what they want anymore. But you know a thing or two about that, don't you, cute bud? Yeah. Everybody's always marking somebody else.
Jake returns with the shots, and Derry returns in love with a stripper, and McMurray returns with a stripper who he says is in love with him. Back at Modine's 3, Bonnie finally has had enough. She changes the music from 2 Unlimited to something else. Gail warns her not to poke the bear. Bonnie says they've been drinking for 24 hours. They're good. Just then, in walks 3 women and a photographer. The bar is riddled with passed-out hockey players. The visitors walk up to Riley and Jonesy, wake them up. They're from Bro Dude Energy Drink. They've selected Riley and Jonesy as brand ambassadors. The 2 Bro Dude models put Bro Dude hats on Riley and Jonesy and pose for a picture with them. Riley and Jonesy can't believe it. The Bro Dude rep, played by Vanessa Mitsui, assures them that it wasn't her idea.
For the record, no part of this, not a shard of it, not a ribbon of it, not a suggestion of it was my idea.
Oh.
Also, for the record, every fiber of my being, internal and external, feels this is a horrifying waste of time, money, resources, and materials.
And materials?
I believe the hats you're wearing belong on the heads of legitimate athletes, professionals, not washed up, never have beens taking a victory lap through whale shit.
Ready.
Oh, whose idea was it then?
Kids.
Kids?
Juveniles, sprouts, squirts, non-voters. You know, the kids saw you on TSN with all your chirp, snipe, selly, and this is relatable to them, apparently.
It's actually wheel snipes.
Not anymore. The term wheel has sexual connotations and may not and must not be used by either one of you while wearing the Bro Dude logo. Got it?
Got it.
Good.
The Bro Dude rep has tasked Riley and Jonesy with heading up a Bro Dude club in Letterkenny to try to get as many people on board with the brand as possible. Riley and Jonesy agree. The rep is doubtful that they'll succeed. The Bro Dude rep looks at the picture they took with Riley and Jonesy and proceeds to make fun of it.
Has anyone ever told you to that you're unintentionally hilarious? Because this is the lolsiest. Yo, look at you. Looks like you're fighting a second-to-second battle to keep your eyes from crossing. And also, you, when you smile, it looks like you're saying the word her, but with a dozen R's at the end. Like, her.
By the way, you guys know Jonesy's actual name is Andrew Her, so I'm wondering if that's a joke at his expense. The Bro Dude posse leave, and Riley and Jonesy realize the music's changed and they demand that it be changed back, which Bonnie does begrudgingly. Riley and Jonesy go back to partying. Final scene, back at the Rippers. All the Hicks are passed out except for Dierks and Wayne. Dierks is still trying to charm Wayne, but it isn't working.
What's the talent of North, big boy? Do they go? I gotta get me a Canadian girl. Do they go? Hook me up.
Why would I do that?
Because I'm your buddy Dierks.
No, you're not.
Okay, I'm your pal Dierks.
I don't like you, dude.
You fucking with me?
I bet a million guys like you, and you're the worst of them all.
Hurts a little bit.
I'm never gonna fucking see you again, so let me leave you with this. Clean it up. But keep it tidy, because you're a fucking mess.
Just then, Katie walks into the bar and captures Dierks' attention. Then the song Tomboy starts playing, and we fade to black. All right. That was a long one. And I guess I get to start. So this episode, initial thoughts. It's great. From the throwback intro to the story, the main storyline. I think it was a lot of fun. The 3 stories in this one, and it felt that way. Like it was a meaty episode. So you have the Rippers storyline, which I thought was a lot of fun. Especially Wayne's reaction to someone like Dierks. The gym storyline with Stewart teaching him how to fight was there's so much great physical comedy there. Like it was so funny. And then, the one that not throwaway, but the one that was less compelling is the hockey players. But it was still a lot of fun, and it is setting up, I guess, the bro dude storyline. So it was necessary. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. Found it funny. And yeah, pretty good. Victor, what do you think?
Well, I think that probably everybody here is going to share that they enjoyed this episode, and so I'll have to bring the balance. So I
you don't have to,
No, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah. So I did enjoy lots of parts in this episode, but overall, and again, you have to remember, when I was 20 years old, I think my friends and I were going on a trip all over the province, trying to find the best peeler bars and all that kind of stuff. And everybody knows it's not in the U.S. that you go for the best ones. It's in Quebec.
Yeah, Montreal, absolutely.
Montreal, yeah. But anyway, and we did that too. But
which that's where you're going, isn't it? Montreal. Coincidence?
Yes, but this time to a train museum. So anyway,
right.
So, but
wow, his life has turned.
Yeah.
Yes. But so these are going, and like Wayne is the kind of the one redeeming kind of guy there, and obviously Squirrely Dan. Like people their age don't go to strip clubs anymore.
Yes, they do. These guys are in their mid-20s. They still do. Come on.
They're not. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
they do.
I feel like you've been there, done that.
No, these guys are in the right that area, that age group. They are.
Wayne did not want to be there. He was not interested. I feel like it's more like when you're like Dan and Wayne, that you just say, okay, been there, done that.
Sure.
Over. It was just a little too juvenile. That's all. It's like they're a little too grown.
They're not too grown. That is the age. Look, I was that age, and Tanya was still driving me to strip clubs. You can ask her.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I feel like they're a little old. Nope. But anyway, and so that's one storyline. And what I do like about that is Wayne through it all and his reaction to Dierks towards the end. I really appreciate that. And as far as the gym. Yeah, there was lots of funny physical humor. At the same time, it's time to put that dick away. I don't get it. Like, why is it there?
I thought you'd be desensitized with all that gay porn you had to watch in that previous life.
It has nothing to do. Well, no, I have no issues with the gay porn. Bring it on. I just don't understand why. I don't understand.
Includes the show.
I don't understand why he's leaving it like that. First of all, it mustn't be comfortable. Second, unless he's an exhibitionist, which is a whole other thing, I just don't get it. Like okay, that was funny for one episode. I guess it's a shtick you want to keep coming back to.
His stick wasn't out this round, was it?
Yeah, it was. It was totally out. I think I think it was a little more girthy this time.
I was concerned for his safety, Tanya.
Oh my God, I've got to watch it again with the subtitles off.
I was concerned for everybody else's safety.
I can't read and watch the show. Oh my God.
My point exactly from earlier.
Right?
Anyway, that was the second storyline, and the third storyline with Riley and Jonesy. I thought that, again, I there was funny parts to it, and then but it was just okay, but it was like nothing. I guess the big climax there was just at the end. No pun, Tanya. It was just at the end that where they got a pretty good deal out of that whole thing for being who they are. So that was pretty neat. And I love the song because it's a throwback to those that like to play. It used to be called NHL, now it's Chell. Back in the days, because that was the theme song. So that was very cool.
And the OV reference, come on! I thought you'd be all over
yeah. No, OV reference all night long. I was just thinking, oh my God, all these guys are probably going to roll their eyes because they have no idea what that's in reference to. But whatever. Yeah. Overall, there was lots of fun parts, fun aspects of the episode. I just felt each storyline had weaknesses. That's all.
So your main issue with it was you think they're too old for that. I vehemently disagree. They're in the exact right age for that.
I think they're past.
No,
I think they're past.
You're wrong,
yeah.
Matt.
I love listening to Victor's rants. Make my whole day. There's a lot of good stuff in this one. Like I said, this was a throwback, classic Letterkenny. A lot of great content. The cold open still just to me, it's one of my favorites. I loved it. It was so great. Even the opening montage, and I've had some hit and misses with the montages over the seasons, but I loved it. It kind of, when they often do those at the end of the episode, I like that they kind of did it at the beginning. And I think, because we talked about the episodes 1 and 2 of the season being sort of a joined big long episode, it was a great way to say, okay, we're back. Let's re-meet everyone. What's everyone doing? How they're coming out of that. I thought that was really smart, and it was fun to see how it's all going. The 3 different storylines, I thought they all worked. The hockey guys, these guys are small town. They don't get big wins. So this was a massive win for them. So they celebrated like they won the damn cup. And you see some of the citywide celebrations that happen when big teams win big cups and whatever. People lose their damn minds. And I love that it's going to let them have their way. She's even the whole comment around, it's illegal to sell booze between 2 a.m. and 11. I don't care. Like she's just going to keep selling it to them, let them have their fun, get it out of their system and not fuck with them. So that was great. The banter when Jake arrived,
Yes.
I love that scene so much. Yeah. It was so well done. He was spot on. And I love that they were family. That was I didn't know he had American family, whatever, and it's fine. But I love that they play off it, and it was so well received. And that was actually probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole episode. And that one,
and they hit on all the familiar points that Canadians and Americans usually are rivals with, beer and how much we pay for this. And
even the joke about trying to identify Canada on a map. I remember watching an episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader years ago. And the question was, what is the country? The question was, there are 3 countries that make up North America: Mexico, United States, and what? And they had no fucking clue. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Are you sure this is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because isn't that a Canadian show?
No. We've done our own. We know that's Jeff Foxworthy hosted that.
Okay.
Yeah. When it first came out. Anyways, that's what it reminded me of that moment. Because I remember they had no clue what, I think they lost that whole round because I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we're right there. But it's true. There's this real just blinders on and both ways.
I apologize for all Americans because
we still love you. Don't worry.
We'll get to you in a second, Liz.
We let it roll off our shoulders because we enjoy the humor in itself as well. Yeah. But no, there was just so many good things about this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we got some new characters, even Dierks, which I'm imagining we're going to see more of him. I get that vibe. I liked him a lot. He was fucking out there, but he was an interesting character.
He's very cool.
So
very cool. Very
I'm interested to see where they're going to take this storyline. Because, like I said in the last couple of I'm in new territory here as well. So I'm picking up the new stories and going with them. And then to end it all with there was just so much fun. I enjoyed this episode a lot.
Awesome. 10.
I laughed out loud so many times, and I usually try to keep my composure. So there's some surprise to how I'm going to vote and stuff. But I don't know whether it was the sleep deprivation, but I was laughing, and I have to tell you, oh my God! So your OV and what it actually is. So under my sleep deprivation today, I was like, oh, there was that song that was on repeat at the bar, and I want to hear that song today. And I'm like, who was like the artist? I'm like, it was OV, wasn't it? And I'm like, I was looking on my phone for OV, and I'm like, because I couldn't remember.
She's probably like, hey Google, play Twilight Zone by OV.
I'm like, what is? I'm like, OV. I'm like, no, it's
I
not.
thought it was a Drake reference.
It's not coming up.
I can't believe you had the CD,
dude.
Too
I
Unlimited.
couldn't remember.
This was your jam.
I know. So I put it on.
Knows what that song is. It's just the
Tanya knows what that song. She had that CD.
You know what? I was like, I know that it used
to be. I think you might have had that cassette.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it on my Dance Mix 96. I'm like, it's got to be on there. So, anyways, I started listening to that, and I went down a new path. But yeah, for the life of me, I couldn't remember Twilight Zone. So I've written it now. Tomorrow I shall listen to it. It will be on my playlist.
There you go.
So, oh my gosh. I want to ask, and don't make fun of me now. So did they change the actress, Rosie?
No, she just changed her hair. Same actress.
Same actress?
Yeah.
Because she looked so much different.
Yeah, no, it's
I know I have that problem with recognizing people, but I'm like, I know we haven't seen her in a while. She had short hair and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing too is that the interaction between her and Wayne, it was different. Like she was more aggressive, and she was more like seductive in the conversation that they were having, which was not the way she was previously with him.
Well, Wayne's available again, right?
And she's between books.
Yeah, like she was like the bookworm that was kind of quiet and like, okay. And like, we didn't really hear much from her. And now all of a sudden she's like aggressively
she's back from Vancouver. She's rescued all the pit bulls, and now she's ready to bag Wayne again.
Yeah, but she was like, she was kind of seductive, kind of aggressive about the whole Monopoly thing.
I like this one, Rosie. I really do.
Yeah, but that's why I was like, what's going on? They've changed her. Anyways, I'm wondering too, Marie Fred, if this is the first time that she's called and Wayne has not picked up the call.
I don't recall if prior to this we've seen any indication.
We haven't.
No, I don't think so.
So I'm just wondering if we will ever see her again, or if this is just like glimpses.
I was disappointed that her name showed up, because I would have figured Wayne would have removed her from his contact list.
Huh.
Yeah. I once had an ex whose name I changed to North Korea in my phone.
Nice. Was her name Kim?
Oh my.
Nice.
I must say, Rold is absolutely hilarious. Him in the gym and his reactions, and he only said the word no, but it was just the word no said in so many different ways, and his like, it was just like and his like looking backwards while Stewart's on top of him, and that smile, like it just his character is just coming out more and more. It's just fantastic. He's just so funny.
They are very well choreographed in this season, eh? Like just when he first showed them, he stood up, and the whole they are on point, those two, and it's
and
really
they reference that, right? Like they reference that when they go to start shooting, that they go together and they start acting it out and rehearsing their lines together. So it shows. It's a really good. They have a really good relationship with that. Riley and Jonesy, the bro dude rep thing. I don't know where that's going. I'm guessing it's building to a plot that's going somewhere. It was okay. It wasn't great. I agree with the other guys on that one. What was I going to say now? So the Jake banter. It will be interesting to see what happens with Kate. Kate holds her own. Like,
oh, you mean Dierks, not
Dierks?
Yeah, Dierks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, that was the cousint.
Yes.
Cousint. And the strippers and going to the States for the strippers. Yeah, that's been referenced before with Victor there. But yeah, I was always, we have a friend that put herself through school, stripping, and was, what's she, a lawyer?
She's a legal aid.
Legal aid. I thought the strippers in the States, like, they don't take anything off below.
It's ridiculous, the notion that the U.S. has better strip joints than Canada.
There you go.
Ridiculous. Sorry, Liz, but it's true.
I'm like, didn't know that was a thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm okay with claiming that. I really am.
All right.
It's one of our higher moments.
Elizabeth, before you begin, we expect you now to apologize for your entire country. So go ahead.
I mean, how long do we have, y'all? How long do we have?
All good. What did you think of this episode?
I liked it. I mean, I hear Victor with like some issues. I feel like the gym and the gym and the hockey players are kind of at crossroads. Like, I feel like the gym and like Stewart getting ready to fight. How long does it really take? Like, how long is this going to go on? Like, I know I've seen it, but every time I go back to it, it's like, it drags on a little bit too long. And then like the hockey players, they're just building up to something. And so I think the kind of thing that like sandwiches this episode together is the strippers and like the Wayne's not quite bachelor party that kind of like glues it together. But that being said, I gotta give it up to Squirrely Dan. He stood up for what he believed in. He walked off and we never heard from him again. Go Squirrely. Go Squirrely.
He went and ate all their food and
And you know, like, he's not yucking their yum. He's going out. He's like leaving. It's
I love that. Yucking their yum. I like it.
That should be a t-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that a Flint, Michigan saying, or did you?
I have no idea where I heard that from, but it's not my original. I will not lay claim to that. But yeah, and so I appreciate Squirrely for like sticking up for what he believes in, but again, like not raining on their parade. I'm sure that's kind of why Wayne's going on, because you know his cousin planned this whole thing. He made a big effort. Like McMurray somehow used the portal behind the produce.
Oh, I love that.
Together, right?
Oh my God, Liz, I love that part. Yeah, and I went to say that to. Oh my God, that was so fun. I'm like, and the portal is still there. I'm like, here it comes again.
And McMurray can use it. I would really think that McMurray could not use it, but apparently he can.
That's how they're getting to Quebec.
Who gave McMurray the keys to the portal? That needs to be taken away. And does the portal go to Michigan? Because the strip club was in Michigan, right?
It has to be, but I can't figure out, like, it's either got to be outside Detroit someplace or it's got to be around Flint, because there's some outlet malls north of us and there's some outlet malls in the Detroit suburbs. So I can't tell. I'm hoping it's probably in Detroit area, because I can tell you right now
the geography of this show makes no sense at all.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't. Like, I was trying to figure it out.
That's why they need the portal. That's so it makes
exactly.
Before I caught that it was actually in Michigan, I'm like, I pulled up a map today. I'm like, all right, Letterkenny's got to be somewhere up in the Ottawa Valley because it's close enough to. But then I realized Michigan. I'm like, no, that doesn't make any damn sense. That throws that theory out the window.
Michigan makes sense for Listowel though, because Listowel would be,
yes, it makes sense for that, but not for Quebec.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like to get to both of them with a reasonable time. It's got to be up in the Ottawa area.
When you have a produce stand, you don't worry about those things. Mere
time travel.
Yeah, I definitely pulled up a map too, was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, I don't know. I give up, because it's either got to be closer to Ottawa or it's got to be in that kind of weird peninsula that goes between like Toronto and like or Windsor.
Mr. Science's reason. Is there a scientific explanation for this portal?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can't use classical physics for this. You have to use. You have to go into the quantum realm.
Oh,
for
okay.
This one. Yes, because nothing can travel faster than the speed of light, except when you're in the quantum realm.
Is there a tesseract behind the produce stand?
There might well be.
I so love it when he just like popped out behind. I'm like, of course. And there he is. I'm like, behind the produce stand.
That's awesome. All right, let's move on to ratings now.
No, I don't think Liz was finished.
Oh, sorry, Liz.
We all cut her off.
Did I just chad you, Liz? I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. I got him. I got him. I got it. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Liz is a newbie.
Tanya. Thank you. No. So I looked up the 24 pack of beer price because I was really curious. Does Michigan have the lowest? I don't think we do, but you can get a 24 pack of Keystone for $11.
11?
Wow. 11. Now, do you want Keystone? No, you do not.
4?
But you can
24 for 11.
Like, no, you don't.
Oh,
but you can get like Bud, like the other things for like $16.50 to $20. So,
That's crazy. I think for a while there, the cheapest beer you can get here was Laker, and I think it was $1 a beer, so 24 for 24. And you didn't want Laker. No.
Yeah.
In general, 2 4s are 40 to $50 or something.
This Puppers can alone, I think is $3.45 in the liquor store.
Yeah.
Just for one can.
Yeah.
One can.
One can.
mean, though, so like Puppers is like a special brew though. Like they're not. I mean, is it Labatt or Molson?
It's a limited run, but it is Labatt. Yeah.
But it's on par. I mean, of all the craft beers, we got a huge craft beer selection at liquor stores. They're all in the, I'd say, $2.70 to like $4.50 range per can.
Yeah.
Oh honey, I paid $6 for a can of stuff. Like it's like craft beer is definitely a little bit more expensive down here, but like the mainstream macro stuff you can get for dirt cheap.
I'm feeling very blessed right now.
Yeah, you totally are. Like my beer budget is nothing to sneeze at.
We did have a politician in Ontario elected on a platform of $1 of beer. So
oh my God, I remember that.
It's not our proudest moment.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And the funny thing is, he couldn't even keep that fucking promise because all the brewers were like, "Yeah, there's no fucking way we can give you $1 of beer. Sorry, like not even."
I think our price of aluminum too, like it went skyrocket, and they're like, "Yeah, that isn't happening."
All right, after our second interruption, Liz, please
my!
No,
you're getting us all excited, Liz.
Yeah.
It's like it's a conversation, y'all. I don't have to do a monologue here. No. So I will say, like the gym, it's fine, whatever. I loved Rolled. I loved Stewart. Like the DDR reference was hilarious because I definitely was like of the teenage generation where DDR, like watching your friends do DDR was a thing. And like you watch like the people do like the spins and all the other stuff like at the arcades, and it was a little ridiculous. But I gotta say, Dierks, oh my God. I just wanted to slap him as soon as he opened his mouth. I really, really did. And like, I know where it's going, but even watching it again, I'm like, this dude, this is where we're going. Please, God, no.
So the actor, I think his name is Tyler Haynes or something like that. He was on 19-2, played a similarly despicable kind of person. But he's also in a Hallmark movie, like rom-com kind of. So imagine him being the leading man in like romantic movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's an actor, right? Like, come on.
I know, but he's got a very punchable face.
but Liz, so that's my point. That's my point. Like that he's exactly the epitome of the kind of a character you would expect to find at a strip club when you're in your mid to late 20s or in your 30s, because it's lame at that point, right? And that's my whole point. Like I feel like our beloved Letterkenny characters, I put them higher than that. Wayne
kept it up there.
Okay, I was going to say, who do you put higher than that? So Wayne didn't want to go, but he went because of his cousin.
Dan,
and Squirrely Dan didn't want to go, but McMurray, that's totally up his alley.
Oh yeah,
And
McMurray's a piece of shit. Yeah.
And Derry completely, he fell in love with the first stripper that he saw when he walked in.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess.
in love.
It's just we ended up there anyway. Regardless, we still ended up.
I agree that we ended up there, but I agree with Al that like everybody acted their way. Like if you watch Wayne's eyes, he is either they're completely shut or he's looking at the ceiling the entire time.
Love it.
He is so uncomfortable. He is though. Like Dierks, like I actually wrote down like what he called Wayne a couple of times: boo boo, kitty fuck, hot beef, and sweet and sexy. Like I'm sorry, dude. Like really, you just meet this guy. I'm sure you've heard some backstory because of like the whole engagement thing, but this is. Boo boo kid. No, we don't know. Why is this happening? No. So Dierks is, as you can tell, not one of my favorite characters.
No.
Yeah.
Possibly the ultimate Letterkenny villain. I'm just putting it up there for that. But Wayne is so uncomfortable during that entire time. Like the only bright parts were where he's talking to Rosie, which I agree, Tanya. I think she's like really developed a personality versus to what she was beforehand. Like I don't even think it was her appearance. Like it was definitely a shock to see her in the braids, but like I think she actually has a personality. She's flirty, she's funny. I want that Monopoly, please. Like come on, y'all.
She's definitely more forward and confident.
Exactly.
Rosie 1.0 was kind of what the shy? I don't know about shy, but just
She was just
quiet.
kind of one-dimensional,
introverted.
quiet.
Yeah.
Never really, and like, I mean, I call myself an introvert, but like, you know, like I'll talk to people at parties and like you get a few beers to me, which is definitely what's happened tonight. I talk a lot.
Yay! All right, we got fun.
I know.
Liz.
I know how to get up there. And then the only other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on was like the bro dude thing. I was totally with the bro dude rep like at the beginning, but then as soon as she started like making direct fun of Riley and Jonesy with like their appearance and everything, I'm like, okay, let's not. Like, I can understand if your bosses are making you do this thing that you don't like think is going to go anywhere and it's a complete waste of time. But let's not make fun of the idiots who are actually going to like try to do this thing
I love her chirp of Riley. He's
so good.
A minute by minute fight to keep his eyes from crossing.
So fucking good.
I loved it. Oh man.
Yeah.
That must have been an off scene joke as well. Like that had to have come up somewhere along the lines. And that's where it stuck. Like that was so good.
Yeah. And then like I think the last thing was like the very last scene where it's like Katie and Dierks like meet eyes and it goes into slow-mo and you just know that we're going to be seeing more of Dierks because of that slow-mo. They've like, and I think it was on like How Are You Now that they made the point where falling in love or lust or whatever and fights are the only times you see slow-mo in Letterkenny. And like, oh my God, no, Katie, come on, girl. Come on. Please, not this one.
Yeah.
But didn't they also flash over to Wayne too? Like if I felt like Wayne's eyes opened for the first time and like looked like
he saw the scene unraveling.
The second Wayne said, "I'm never going to see you again, so I'm going to tell you how I feel." You knew.
Famous last words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wayne and his eyes, earlier during the montage, it ended with Wayne looking into the camera and kind of smiling at us.
So weird.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Oh, I think so. My opinion on that whole montage is to show that Wayne's back. You know, after his
So okay, all right.
He's back,
so like
and he's choring with his friends again, and then they're drinking Modines again, and that's just him being content and moving on from Marie Fred. I think that's what the smile was about.
All right. You're going to break the fourth wall. You got to.
That's my interpretation of it anyway. And I don't know if he was breaking the fourth wall. I didn't think he was just showing that he was content. He was looking around. His friends were having fun.
He looked in the camera. As an actor, the only time you look in the camera is to break the fourth wall.
It was definitely a weird shot. Like I noticed it too, because we haven't seen like a close up like that on anybody. So it definitely like centered Wayne as the main character again, which I think in the past couple seasons he's kind of gotten away from. But it was definitely a kind of a break from the regular visual language of the show.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, may I move on, Liz?
I'm done. I'm good. Feel free.
We're going to move on to ratings. I'm going to give this one a fresh because it's again, it's a throwback episode. The cold open, the storylines. I mean, I really like. There's some new energy thrown into this with new characters, with the new storylines, and so it's exciting to think about where this might be going. And after the first two episodes, I don't disagree that they were kind of different flavor or different tone. This is back to the Letterkenny tone, so I'm going to give this one a fresh. Victor, have we convinced you otherwise?
No, this is a clearance for me, and it's a strong clearance. But I just feel there wasn't a perfect storyline here. Like there was each of the stories kind of had various degrees of highs and lows, and some of the lows were just brought this episode down to a clearance from a fresh for me. And it's not just me being prudish about the whole peeler bar. It's just the whole thing. Like I felt the Riley and Jonesy scene was just kind of, it was there. It was there, and like it didn't add that much. And as far as the being at the gym, it's like, yeah, we'll get on with it. Like, what are we doing here?
They can stay at the gym. I think I need to watch the gym again.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like just from a guy's perspective with Bonnie and Katie. I mean, they're walking around with their boobs hanging out all the time, and that's just normal and accepted. But I guess a guy walking around with his dick hanging out is not so.
You're the only one complaining.
Yeah. But for me, again, it's not that I'm offended, right? It's just because it's not like it is. It's normal. Like, it's normal for women to kind of walk like that. And it's not in our society for guys to walk around with their dicks hanging out. But he's doing it, and we're just kind of.
It's not hanging out. It's concealed. It's just.
You clearly have never been to Pride.
By a thin veil of spandex.
No, I've been to Pride, but that's Pride is a. Pride is like it's a special.
Yeah, I know.
Typically when you're though I must say there was about 3 or 4 years ago I was walking down Yonge Street and I was walking by one of those adult video shops.
Those still exist?
Oh yeah.
Well, this was a couple of years ago.
They're usually fronts for like money laundering operations.
It's like the window is all white and it just says like it has
massage
kind of neon
therapy.
lights, adult video. Anyway, so there was a guy standing out in front of it. He looked like the lead singer for the Spin Doctors, if you remember what that guy looked like.
Oh my god!
And,
maybe it was. I mean, what have they done lately? I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, I'm walking by and all of a sudden he's just standing and he just pulls his pants down.
What?
He's not wearing underwear.
What?
And he starts wiggling his hips and wiggling his dick, and that happened.
Maybe he wanted to play Dinkerball with you.
Maybe. So that's a thing that happened.
There you go.
But
that is not a thing that happens.
In Toronto, sometimes it happens, especially if you're walking along Yonge Street. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yonge Street. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh!
I just looked at him and gave him a thumbs up and kept walking.
Oh my!
Oh, so you gave him a fresh, but you won't give this episode a fresh.
No.
I sense.
I have to leave a little room for improvement.
Matt,
Yeah.
what's your rating?
You can't keep putting me following Victor. It's an easy fresh. It was great. Honestly, I mean, I'm jumping ahead to your next question. This one borderline on a top 5 for me.
Wow.
If you had just kept the momentum of say the first half of the episode, I thought the first half was so good. We keep saying classic Letterkenny, from the cold open to the montage, from the early intros to the characters again. I loved it. And then at the same time, I do agree with some of the other feedback that everyone's given around. There was some parts that were a little disjointed and a couple side steps, and but all in, I mean, it's an easy fresh. Like I said, it had the potential to be one of the greats, minus a couple side steps.
One of the things they could have cut out of it and would have lost nothing was the whole Venezuela thing. Like that was kind of weird. You'd want to talk about
that made me laugh though, and as odd as it was, it made me laugh.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
what the hell was it?
Yeah, you talk about side steps. Like that seemed out of character for Wayne to be talking to somebody at the urinal, and much less 3 people at the urinal, and then asking them to repeat them. It just seemed strange. So yeah.
Though I gotta say that's one of the few things I'm like, maybe it is kind of Flint-esque or like north of Flint where like we've got outlet malls and stuff, because like we've got a lot of migrant workers in the area outside of Detroit, because we got more farms up this way. So like that's the only thing that I'm like, okay, maybe it's up this north. But so there's like a little clue in there.
Right.
But I could have done without it as well.
Yeah. 10. What's your rating?
You know what? It's a fresh. Like there was nothing that upset me in this one that took it out of a fresh. There were like Riley and Jonesy, like I feel like I want to be a mother to them and I want to beat off anyone that like upsets them. No. You rude people. No. Oh my God. You guys are dirty.
No Shorzy territory, please.
No, I want to no.
Give your balls a tug, you dead fucker.
No. That is not the reference. I want to protect them.
Gotcha.
And people keep on picking on them and the look on their faces of like being upset and like picked on time and time again. I'm like, you know what? They need somebody in their corner to like fend for them, not beat. Okay, shut.
Okay, so fresh.
Yes, and I got to watch this one again.
All right.
So, what did I want to say? And we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna. Yeah. Okay.
Elizabeth, what do you give this?
Oh man, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
I agree. Like it is a fresh. I mean, it is just clearing that fresh bar because there are like where like the skids like fighting scene or fighting storyline is going a little bit long for me, and like we're just getting into the bro dude, whatever that is. But yeah, so I definitely think it's a fresh, just because we're getting back to that kind of classic Letterkenny. We're seeing multiple groups like interact with each other, which is something that I always enjoy. And we got to see most of the cast. Like I think the only big person who was missing was Dickens. I think
and Tanis,
and Tanis, yeah. So we got to see everybody else. So I always love when we get to see more of the cast.
How come Shorzy wasn't celebrating when he was the real reason they won that game?
He was probably in the crapper celebrating. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to top fives. This should probably be quick. It does not make my top five. Victor?
Does not make my top.
Matt? Nope. Tan?
You know what?
Ooh.
I was thinking oh boy, listen to Victor. I was thinking about this and I was like, I can't remember what my top five were anymore, but if there was if I could just add it as a six.
No, you can't. We talked about this before, Tanya.
Because I don't want to. I'm too tired to think.
No top five.
I'm too tired.
Elizabeth, do you want it? You don't have to give us.
Giving me the blue spatula.
You don't have to give us your top five unless you have it, but if not, you can just name off some of your favorite episodes.
Oh, I did my homework out.
Oh.
I have my top five.
Well done.
So number 1 is Valentine's Day.
Ooh,
I love. 2 is Dick Slip Out.
Oh, my favorite.
3 is Lays Hicks. 4 is Hard Right J. And then 5, which will cause some controversy, I'm sure, is Fart Book.
Nice.
I have
was about to give you an official welcome back.
I have reasons.
I knew I liked you right from the beginning.
Loving Fart Book.
Oh boy.
It's a seminal episode. It brings in a lot of. It's the first one where we see the different groups working together in a way that we haven't seen before. I love a good parody that is smart and sophisticated without being over the top. It's just You
didn't think Fart Book was over the top?
It made me appreciate like bathroom humor in a way that I do not normally.
Okay.
Like I was all for it. And I'm like, this is amazing and dirty and innocent all at the same time. I'm in for it. So yeah, no, Fart Book there's a special place in my heart for that.
Special
for
place.
that episode.
I'll take that all day long over seeing Shorzy on the toilet.
Yes, agreed, Victor. Like the bathroom humor got significantly worse throughout the show, but like that one is just like, this is perfect right here.
Love it.
And the skids shined that episode. They were at their best.
The only difference between Fart Book and the toilet humor Shorzy is echo. That's the only difference. It's the only difference.
Echo. Oh my.
They were both farts. One's got echo.
I might give you that.
All right, moving on to MVPs. My MVP, it's easy. It's Rolled. His physical humor in those scenes in the gym. I mean, is there a better physical comedian on this show? I can't think of one. Maybe sometimes Coach, but Rolled usually wins it. Victor, how about you?
Rolled is a cartoon character. But for me, I hopefully I'm not stealing this one from Liz, but for me, Squirrely Dan's the hero of the show. No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Like, first of all, he keeps taking it up the rear from Katie, and
from what's her name, the kinesiologist.
Yes, and he takes it like a champ. And but he took the high road, and I appreciates that about him.
Okay, fair enough, Matt.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this one, but honestly, I'm going to give this one to the big man himself, Wayne. I think he got a lot across this episode with saying very little and doing very little. Like it was just his chops were on, and I appreciate it. So I thought he did a great job. Like Liz, you pointed out at the club there, or someone who had never looked. He was always looking up, but like he was so intentional with all of his actions, and it goes to him.
He probably had the dialogue of the episode too, when the way he told Dierks how he felt. I think that was probably the best speech of the episode for sure.
It was
10.
It's a toss up for me. Rolled. I agree with you, Alan, and I also agree that Wayne did a great job this round too. I gotta go with Rolled. He made me laugh just so hard. Like, oh, he does it for me. He's just amazing.
Elizabeth.
All right. So I gotta say, Victor, Squirrely Dan is a close second because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta give it to Wayne. Again, I agree with Matt completely. Like he stuck true to his values, like not like truly participating at the Rippers Club, but he also like appreciated what his cousin had done for him, what McMurray had done for him. Like, all right, you did this thing, I'll go along with it. And then he gave the best dressing down to Dierks ever. Like he just said it plain, wasn't like super mean, just like, I don't like you, dude, and this is why. And then of course we see what might be going on in the next couple episodes.
To be fair, Dierks is already half Dierks is already half undressed.
Oh my God. That whole, no, don't even remind me. That was so terrible. I'm like, who does that?
I feel like somewhere in my past, I have come across that person before.
Probably. Yeah.
I'm pretty
in the strip joint.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure like I have met that man and it was just like, like, no.
It makes my skin crawl every time he talks. Like the triple lean of like the, no.
Very nice, very cool, very, very, very.
Yeah,
clearly a great actor. Great actor. The fact that he gave you those emotions, that was the whole point.
Yeah, no, he's a good slime ball. I'd like to propose a new segment. I know we're running a little long, but we also started late because we're now at the point where, and Liz, you may have to sit this one out. We're at the point where 3 out of the 4 of us don't know what happens next. So I'd like to take a quick moment because these after shows are a lot more fun when no one knows what's going to happen and we start thinking ahead of what might happen. So even though Liz and I know what's going to happen next, but why don't we just do a quick Victor? After watching this episode, what do you think or what do you hope will happen?
Well, what I think is going to happen, unfortunately, is that Katie again is going to disappoint us, and as she has on several occasions already, is with kind of us questioning her values. She's going to hook up with this D-Gen. So that's what it looks like. I'd be surprised if they didn't, because what's the point of leaving the episode like that?
Right.
So I think that's probably going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I guess let it happen because there's going to be some shenanigans out of that.
Yeah, no, some drama needs to ensue. And how's Wayne going to react if that happens? I'm not saying it's happening. If it happens, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the storyline I'm fixated on. I mean, I assume similar. I imagine Dierks going to find his way to Letterkenny and he's going to meet the rest of the town and we're going to get that fun underway. I oddly think, knowing he's a slime ball that he is, he's going to have some weird charm side to him that overtakes some people. But in the end, the season and my prediction, Wayne's going to knock him the fuck out at some point is what I'm hoping.
What about some of the other 2 storylines, Riley and Jonesy or Stewart? Yeah,
the Stewart one, honestly, I was never into that one to begin with. I want to see where it goes. Of course, I know they're probably going back to the city to face that. And I'm imagining Stewart basically ducking for his life, and he's not gonna stand up the way he thinks he's going to. But yeah, and it's gonna be fun to watch either way. Yeah, when Tyson and Joint Boy are there to back him up.
Tan, what do you think might happen?
I agree that it's going to be at the end. It will be a knockout by Wayne and Dierks. And Katie will be involved in all of that. But I just thought of a mashup between Dierks and Gail and what kind of relationship that would be.
Wow.
Right? I'm like, what would that look like? If
there is some fan fiction in your future, Tanya,
I'm like
this needs to happen.
I'm like, what?
He'd be like very nice, very freaky, very freaky. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Gail would do like, I think she'd go for that. Like, I think she'd be all in and go like, oh yeah. I think she'd be like, oh yeah, we're
especially
going freaky
if he's actually
sure.
Big Dig Dierks, like they call him.
Oh, she'd be all over that, right? Like she can do it just on her own in the back of the bar, just talking. So like she'd be, yeah, I think it would be an interesting curveball if that were to go in that direction. This fight that's coming in the future, you know, they're preparing for the fight. You know, Stewart's bulked up for it, and the girls turned around and said, you know, who's it, Joint Boy and Tyson, you know, I'll pay you $100 if you like. So what's the point of the whole build up then? Like
just to see Stewart jacked up in bicycle shorts with his schlong.
I need to watch it again. I reiterate that. Anyways,
and Joint Boy and Tyson are cheap. If all it costs is $100 to get them to join a fight, that seems cheap to me anyway.
I'm sure they've paid more than that in gym membership fees already with
and like we don't know how far they are out of the country, so I would have at least thrown in for like gas money too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know,
yeah. Oh, they'll just take
we
the
don't know
portal.
which city they're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see the fight is gonna probably. I don't know. I'm wondering if this fight is going to be a letdown. It's like the build up, and really what's going to happen with that. So that's another thought that I wonder about.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. I like this. I like that we can kind of try to guess what's happening next now. And I think that's going to be a fun part. All right. Well, we're going to move on to just some listener comments here from last week. We message from Jason Cutler, our buddy, says, Victor is definitely correct. Cannonball Run is the best bad movie. Take it easy, Don DeLuise. So that's from our buddy Jason. That's a thumbs up from Victor there. Our buddy Jacob Desjardins, he says, just listen to the recap on season 8, episode 2. It was their sled shack, not the fishing hut. I thought so too. After the episode, I went back and looked and yeah, that makes more sense. It was a sled shack. But and also after last week, I mentioned that I seem to recall an interview or somewhere where Evan Stern, who plays Roald, was asked about the jock lift scene. And actually, it was an AMA that he did on Reddit. Our friend Awesome, she shared the message. This is Evan saying it. He said, I can't even remember. I'll look in the script to double check right now, but I'm pretty sure I was down there and smiling at it, petting it and stuff, and Tierney shouted, adjust it or something. I honestly don't know. It felt pretty on the spot. So it sounds like,
oh my God, petting it.
I don't think you can script that moment.
No,
I don't think you can script that moment.
Improv for sure.
So it sounds like it was likely improvised, or at least something that.
But Stewart doesn't flinch when that happens.
No, well, it's a prosthetic. All right, we know that?
Shut up.
Sure.
No,
it's a prosthetic.
It's a prosthetic.
Come on, boys.
It's typical. It's just basic biology.
Yeah, like remember seeing a bunch of 2 or 3 episodes or seasons ago where we learn that he's hung like a horse, and and there was a comment that once in high school or wherever in school he got a hard on and he passed out from the lack of blood to his
See, but here's the other thing that I keep on thinking about. Remember Katie's interest in Stewart's man piece? and she was like, really? Like, because they never got it on that way, right? So I'm like,
and they were living together. Like he was staying at the house. I'm like,
right? You would think at some point something's happening.
Well, obviously, Stewart's a no nude at home. If that's if you're familiar with
Development,
it would have been fun though.
Not a no nude, a never nude, right? Where he's
never nude.
It would just be fun if Katie came into the gym and just saw what everyone else is seeing and like get her reaction from it, right?
Yeah, it might happen. I don't remember. All right, so we're going to we're moving on to final thoughts here. So my final thoughts on this episode. It's a lot of fun. It was great throwback episode. I'm excited for what's coming, and can't wait for next week. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us, and it was great to meet you. And I'm so glad you reached out and well, you became a patron, so I appreciate that. And hopefully we can have you back on again. I hope you had a good time. And we'll have you back on. Unfortunately, we don't interact too much on Facebook, so you're a bit of a blind spot. When I saw your name, like, who's Liz? Okay, we're gonna meet her for the first time. But
I kind of like being the mystery woman. I'm not gonna lie. I would like to be in on. Like, I refuse to get Twitter. I have too many time sucks already. Yeah. I can't get Twitter.
I understand. You should join us though for some Ag Hall socials or something if time permits.
The last couple you've had have been like my sister got married, and like that was weekend, and then one of the other weekends I was out camping with some friends. So I'm like, they've just been at horrible times, but I will definitely be down for Nag Hall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Victor, final comments?
Yeah, so I thought this episode was a good transition episode. So we start off with these two kind of part 1, part 2 episodes. They were and that story ended, and I feel this was a kind of a resetting episode back to what made Letterkenny a beloved show, and I thought that they got a lot of things right, and they also got some things because they need to get back to basics, and so it wasn't perfect for me, but I feel like this. I'm encouraged that with the next episode we're finally going to get it right this season. So I'm looking forward to that. Liz, unlike the episode, I felt you were perfect tonight, and you really brought it. First time on the podcast, and you were so engaged, and you were so immersive and
prepared,
very prepared, confident, and you just felt like one of the gang. And I thought that just works super well. Can't wait to have you back again. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Victor. That's so sweet.
Matt.
Yeah, how do I fall? Stop putting me after Victor. It was perfect. It was perfect what he said. So perfect, Victor. You get a fresh for that review, buddy. But no, he's absolutely like, yeah, this episode was great. Fuck, the episode was fun. I love it. I'm excited. Welcome back, Letterkenny. Liz, welcome. So awesome having you. We had such a blast. Yeah, Victor said it right. You fit right in. We had so much fun. Hope you come back. Hope you join us another occasion. This is one of our favorite elements about this show. It didn't when we started, we weren't thinking guests. And then once we got into it, it's now part of the norm. Like I've said before, every week I'm like, oh, who's joining us? And I legitimately get excited. I don't care who it is. I'm like, oh, who it is. Because then we're going to have some more fun because we get different perspectives, different characters. It's so much fun. And that's what made this whole community and the show and the weekly occurrence that much more of an extraordinary part of my week. So thank you. Such a pleasure.
Liz, fart book. I thank you so much for that.
That's all she took from tonight.
I don't think that's her last name.
Tanya.
No.
You're welcome.
Like, I feel the same way. Like, I really do. They pressured me, Liz. I took it off of my list.
As soon as you caved, Tanya, I'm like, no, I got to come in. I got to support my girl.
It's already gone.
Gone.
I know.
Can't come back.
I really, really appreciate that so much. So much. It was fantastic meeting you. Hope to see you again. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It was a great episode. Love the recap. A lot of fun. I need to go to bed.
Yeah. All right, Liz. That's your final comments before Tanya goes to bed.
Thank you so much for having me on, you guys. I love being able to come on like this because, again, like I don't have a lot of my friends don't want to geek out like as much. So like the reason I found you guys because I wanted more Letterkenny content. I wanted to like hear friends talking about it, and I feel like you guys like that bring that aspect to the show where it's like just a bunch of friends talking about a show they love. I completely appreciate that about you all, and that's what I appreciate about you. That's what I appreciate about you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And now we're going to play us off here with a song from this episode. Guess what?
Oh, it's Oi. Ovi.
Ovi. It's Twilight Zone by Ovi.
This was in the Mortal Kombat movie, wasn't it?
Something like this.
Oh, man. I so remember dancing on a speaker. I was at the dance club doing I wanted to be that cage dancer. I'm like, oh yeah, with those boots.
You need some glow sticks.
Oh, it's a glow sticks.
And that's all we have for this episode. Join us next week as we recap and review episode 4 of season 8, Ferda, with our good buddy Trace. Don't forget to give our sponsor Diabolical Coffee some love. They're at diabolicalcoffee.com. Right now, you can use a promo code ProduceStand for 10% off any purchase from their site. If you'd like to support us, the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron, there is a Patreon link on our site or Twitter profile at ProduceStandPod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at ProduceStandPod, although I haven't done much with TikTok lately. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to party for 24 hours straight while listening to this song. On behalf of Elizabeth, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.
Check out the sound and stop this distortion. When you think it's finished, here's another portion. Just lay back as we take control. Take
Go Tanya. Go Tanya. Go Liz. Victor, get off that speaker.